Hello, everyone. My name is Charity McNally Kerrigan, and tonight we're going to be talking about multiple needs at bedtime. I am the parent of three children between 10 and 5. They now all sleep through the night, but that wasn't always the case. And when they were very small, when they were all toddlers or preschoolers, going to bed was a time of intense needs from all of them. So we had a few tips and tricks that we researched and that we tried to navigate to help make that time a little bit more smooth. One tip that was really successful that we borrowed from my sister, who has 4 children, and her husband, is they each had a special song that they sang to each of their kids right from birth. And so the parents would go around and sing to each child that special song, so that this one is just for you, and this song makes me think of just you. And that was their good night. If you like that idea and you're just getting started with this bedtime routine stuff, it's okay. Pick a song that makes you think of them now and give that to them, and you can listen to it together or you can sing together. And that can just really help that I hear you, I see you. And what that can also lead to is the child knowing that in that moment you're there just for them. So if they do have something they really need to talk about, it's a really great bridging activity to open up to some vulnerability. And if they're into this routine, the other children know they're going to get their song too. So it puts that boundaries around it, so they know that they can wait because you're not done their sibling song yet. And they know their song is coming. So sometimes it helps by a few minutes to really have some one-on-one chats or some, intimacy. So just some cuddling and some extra snuggles. So building that routine and ritual can really help when meeting multiple needs. Now my 10-year-old doesn't need his song every night. Sometimes he's like, I'm okay tonight, just hugs and kisses. But if there's a time when he's feeling a bit vulnerable or some things, he's gone through some things during the day, he might ask for it. He might say, do you think you could sing my song tonight? Which is usually a clue that there might be something that he needs to talk about. So I'm really thankful, and hats off to my sister for passing on that tradition. Other things that we need to do, not that we need to do, I don't want to put pressure on anybody. What has worked for lots of families I know is to try to fill the bucket before bedtime. So if we notice that, we transition from bedtime or from mealtime to getting ready for bed, right to bed, and it's always transitioning and always is guiding these activities, and our child hasn't had a lot of quality time with us, then of course the needs at bedtime are going to be so extreme. If we use the idea of bridging until the next morning, talking about when we will see each other again, but looking for moments before bed to meet those needs. So if our child's always really thirsty, always has to go to the washroom, one person's making noise, the other one needs you for this. If we see a pattern in that, we can kind of take a few days to observe, write down what they're asking for, what they're, is it that they need a million hugs right before they go to bed? Is it that they all of a sudden are starving? Okay, so we figure that out, and they could be different for each child. But if one of them's starving, so then maybe an hour before bed, we do give an extra bedtime snack. Or if they're just really, really clingy and need lots of cuddles, can we schedule a time after dinner where they sit on our laps and we just hug them and do nothing else for 5 minutes? Like even set a timer, just trying to find ways to meet those needs before we're transitioning into sleep. So those are a few things that we've used in our family. It's not easy. There's going to be seasons when it's smooth and seasons when it's really challenging. But if you sit back and observe, usually the needs that come up in bedtime are things that we can meet before we get there. And again, trying to find a special thing for each child at bedtime. It can be a nickname, it can be a song, it can be a poem, or anything that just makes them feel that individual connection. And if you have multiple age children, looking up resources, and maybe that's something that we could share, is of multi-age book stories to read before bed, like 2 chapters before bed of literature that can reach kids from the age of 2 to 17, are all things that can really help to make it a connection time instead of this time filled with frustration. I hope this helps, and we'll talk to you soon.